Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Kitty Hawk Town Council meeting to order. It's Monday, February the 6th, 2023, 6 o'clock p.m. to Kitty Hawk Town Hall. We've got a room full almost. It looks great. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for coming. If you would, and if you're able to join us, please stand and join a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. Lynn, let the record show Lynn McLean, Councilwoman McLean, is not present tonight. She has been excused, and our attorney, Casey Varnell, is sick also, so he called me earlier. Council, I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda, please.
Motion to approve.
Thanks, David. Second?
Second.
Second by Charlotte. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Recognitions. Melody.
Yes,
Good thing.
we have a couple of recognitions this evening. First off, Chief Johnson, do we still call you Chief Johnson? What do we call you?
Joe. Count Joe.
Joel Johnson, our newly retired police chief. We're here tonight to celebrate his career. We had a luncheon last week, which was very well attended and lots of good recognition and commendations and things like that. So Joel has 30 years of law enforcement experience, or career. His career spanned 30 years. He's been with the town of Kitty Hawk for 22 years, and he was chief of police for 10, which I'm told that is a long time to be the chief of police. So that says something about you as well. Tonight, the tradition is that you get your service weapon, and I guess you have it?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, to put your service weapon in, we have a gun box for you, and this is a card from town council and staff.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
And Joel is going to recognize Brent Ducinovic, who retired in December.
While Brent's walking up, thank y'all for the opportunity to serve Kitty Hawk, and thank past mayors and council members. Mayor Perry's in attendance here, and what a great honor is growing up here as a young man to live here and take care of the community. And that's what I'm going to miss the most, is helping out the people in the community and helping out the people I know, and also the visitors. So but thank y'all, and appreciate everything y'all do too, because I know it's tough. So, Brent Ducinovic, sorry he retired a month before me, daggone it. Brent and I were partners at the beginning of our careers here. Brent started his career in Elizabeth City after graduating from, Brent moved here in 1986. Correct, 1986 in Kitty Hawk Village. He's lived since 1986 in Kitty Hawk Village, where his parents lived. He attended East Carolina Universities, obtained a degree in finance from East Carolina, worked in Elizabeth City for a little while as a policeman, then transferred to Kitty Hawk. Him and I were about right at the same time starting, or somewhere near in there, and we were partners. And Brent worked his way up to patrol sergeant. But I want to also give y'all a little background on Brent's career here. He completed over 2,560 hours of training. His warning tickets or warnings, 3,970. Citations, 2,264. Vehicle crashes, 502. Criminal investigations, 657. Conducted 9,920 business checks, where he actually exited his vehicle, walked the perimeter of the building. And one of his accolades that I would say about Brent is he would leave his business card on the desk of the business that left it, if he could secure the business after he called them, they would tell him how to do it. He always left his business card. So people would call and say, hey, I want to congratulate him. I left my business unlocked last night. And so he was really good at that. And operational reports, we used to handwrite these for years, and then we got one a little bit more automated. But operations report is any business checks or accidents or investigations or talk with an officer or anything. Brent completed over 27,618 operational reports in his career with Kitty Hawk. It's impressive. It's impressive. And he was very well known in the community. Everyone, he's definitely going to be missed. Definitely will be missed. Thank you, Brent.
Brent is the epitome of the community police officer.
And Brent also received this with the Kitty Hawk Police Department flag on it with his years of service here with Kitty Hawk.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it.
If y'all could hold up just a minute, I've known Brent, I've known you, and how about Chief Joel, does that work?
Whatever, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I've known both of you for a long time. Brent, thank you for your service. And Joel, I was meeting with Melody this morning, and we were going over the number of, didn't look at any of them, but she told me how many applicants had come in for your position. I think that's a testament to you, to what you've done for this town and for this department. People want to follow in your footsteps, and there's a lot of them. So I want to thank you for that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a great community to work for.
It is.
Thank you very
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you both. Okay, now we have a presentation. Mr. Paul Enriquez, the Kitty Hawk Recreation Committee has a presentation for us.
Thank you, Council. I appreciate your time. There's a couple things I want to bring forth from the Recreation Committee this evening to present to Town Council. The first being a pump track. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play a quick video here that just gives a good summary
The
of
heart of any city is shared
pump track
space, a place where the entire community can come together, spend time with friends and neighbors, enjoy a common, healthy, and fun activity that's suitable for all ages. At Velo Solutions, we've built our paved pump tracks in communities all over the U.S., making everyone happy and healthy. What's a pump track? A pump track is a recreational area designed for all things on wheels. It's an innovative, rideable playground that's usable all year round and is virtually maintenance-free. From mountain bikes to BMXs and skateboards to scooters, a Velo Solutions pump track combines small rolling hills and turns to create a flow that you can ride and gain momentum without even pedaling or pushing. It stays infinitely interesting and fun because it adapts to be as challenging as it needs to be. The same feature that a 5-year-old can roll through safely on a scooter can be used as a gap jump for a bike pro. And because it's paved with our special asphalt mix rather than dirt, it's ready to go in all seasons and under virtually any weather condition, making it a true 4-season attraction for many years to come. And as the exclusive builder for the Red Bull Pump Track World Championships, your track will be automatically qualified to host a world-class event if you choose to do so. Interested in learning more about bringing a Velo Solutions pump track or hosting a race? Visit us today at www.velosolutions.com or email us at info@velosolutions.com.
Okay, so that just gave a brief overview of what a pump track is. Just thought it was a good video just to give the 101 of what it is. The little bit of history behind the pump track in Kitty Hawk. I brought this to the committee probably almost 4 years ago, initially as a presentation. It kind of migrated from there. The way that it migrated is I met Tim White out at the town park. We've had some conversation with the county manager about it. I met John DeLucia at the park. So I did some groundwork. I contacted Velo Solutions, which is this company that puts this out. This is the world leader of building pump tracks around the world. So they're the guys to go to for this sort of stuff. They came up with a design proposal that I presented to the town, and this was going probably on a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that proposal was brought to the town for some consideration. I had thought that the funds for that were appropriate and we were moving forward. Since then, I had met the representative from Velo Solutions at the park. He came out from what was it, Missouri, I believe. He took some drone shots and some pictures of the area to get an idea if we were going to migrate into design, what he would have to design, the parameters he would have to design based on. So that's a little history of the project. I've got a little PowerPoint presentation here that hopefully will load. Just kind of goes through the same information. There it is. It's from the same company, American Ramp Company, which is a subsidiary of Velo Solutions. Is that coming up on there? Okay, we got that. Okay, so what is a pump track? We went over that in the video. Here's some pictures of different types of pump tracks. This is a asphalt. This will be a concrete. These are composite or fabricated pump tracks, not very popular. And this is a dirt pump track, so it can be built in all those different ways. This is a little information about American Ramp Company or Velo Solutions. They built over 450 asphalt tracks, 300 are dirt, 30 plus are concrete, and they're currently contracted to do over 80 more across the country. Affordable, we can talk about that a little bit. Sustainable, yes, as far as the no maintenance and the asphalt, once you put it down, stays put. They use a special mix of asphalt that said all local asphalt companies can batch this type of asphalt. It stays grippier when it's wet, doesn't weather as bad. So it's got a couple different specifications than a roadway. And then the preferred method is asphalt, just due to its durability and how it holds up and how it rides. So here again, broad user groups from kids on walk bikes to scooters to skateboards to bikes, whole range of users can use this thing. It's all grass side slopes, so the maintenance is basically mowing and weed whacking. The safety aspect, if you get into trouble, you ride off on a grassy slope. If somebody gets in front of you, the same thing. So pretty safe, very safe as far as these. Innovation, they're constantly innovating things like wall rides, and you can see down in the bottom corner, they're actually building them for handicap, for wheelchairs, for accessible individuals to ride. So they're kind of expanding the scope of people who can use these tracks. Here again, just some pictures to show you that it can kind of be integrated around trees, perfect for parks, can be landscaped, not obtrusive, not really ugly looking. Benefits, quality of life, family friendly, builds communities. Regional attraction, there's people, I know myself included, I'll travel 2 hours to go ride one of these things. So people are going to be coming to travel to this area just to ride a pump track. They're up and coming. Right now, splash pads, pump tracks, and pickleball are the three things being built in this country right now. 1, 2, and 3. Three most popular things. Boost local economy. I'm not sure we really need much of that, but it does. And minimal overhead, like I touched on last with the mowing. If you build a track that is over 10,000 square feet, it is designed and built by Velo Solutions. That's all the criteria. It can qualify for the Red Bull Pump Track World Series. So it can be on that World Series and be part of that, which would draw a lot of people here for that. So that's something to consider also. Design development, this is part of what this American Ramp Company would be doing in design. They'll create some floor plans, some renderings, basically get something on paper that we can then use. And that, to me, is the critical first step in having this move forward. I understand that the land is owned by the county, the park. So this is, we can talk to all the people in the county, that we want. They'll be excited about it. Yeah, this sounds like a great idea. But ultimately, we would have to get approval. So in my mind, it starts with a design. We need to have a solid design, the location, the area, the design of the track. Then, if it needs to be proposed to Board of Commissioners, wherever it needs to go county-wise to get the approval, which I'm assuming it would need to go to that level, the design would enable us to do that, in my mind. So, an important first step is design development. This is a picture of one that's built, is going to be built in West Virginia. This is, so this is kind of a design rendering that we would be getting. This one is in Haywood County, North Carolina, which is a little bit west of Asheville. So this is a massive pump track they're getting ready to do out there. Procurement, we can touch on that. I don't know if we need to touch on that during this meeting, but American Ramp Company through Sourcewell, has a way of procurement that I've been told allows them to go basically design and build these things with public funds without having to go through RFQs, design builds, and bid processes. This is a very specific type of construction. Not anybody can build these things. All from the distance to each roller to where the berms are. If it's built wrong, it won't get used because it just will not operate properly. These guys know what they're doing. They would have to be the ones to build it in my mind. This is just some comments of people that have tracks and just comment on how people come together and use them and how much they love them. That's pretty much my presentation on pump tracks. I wanted to kind of just be somewhat general. I knew there are a lot more specifics to discuss. So if there's any questions, I'm open to answer.
I've got a couple of things, and I'd like to hear from Charlotte is doing a great work as liaison counsel to Recreation Committee, and we've heard good things about the Recreation Committee, so thank you, Paul. The location, first of all, this is a Dare County discussion. The location, would that include part of the community garden that is there? Okay.
The discussion, excuse me. Sorry.
We've had a few phone calls already at council about that. We don't mess with that community garden. We'd have a situation on our hands, I think. And I think you got everybody's attention when you mentioned affordable. There are some grants out there, and maybe pursue some grants. But again, this is a Dare County discussion too. So, but I'd like to hear from Charlotte. I know you've been very involved in this too.
I visited in Portland. They have them there. It just brings the community out, and the video that you showed us that they use wheelchairs can be on it, and it gets the families out, and it's something they can do, and it just seems like a really good idea, and I'm more than happy to go and help you talk to the county about making that happen.
I appreciate that, Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, I see this as, what skate parks was 10 years ago, this is that. Now there's a skate park in every town. There's already been discussions in NAGSET and KDH about pump tracks. It's going to happen here out on the beach. I'd like to be the first to have it in our town, to be honest. There is enough room between the community garden and the dog park. It might be beneficial to take the back fence of the dog park and move it 10 feet or so. But that area, that open area that's there is more than 10,000 square feet. If we were to build the competition track, it would fit there.
Okay. Anything else, Charlotte?
No,
Okay.
I'm
Jeff?
good.
No, I'm good.
Dave?
Other than the fact you might want to think about talking to the tourism board about it as well.
Good idea.
Very good.
Very good idea.
Grants and money out there.
Yeah.
And, there's been discussion within the committee, there again, I'm really seeking approval for the design to be approved, is mainly what I would like to accomplish tonight. Once that gets done, it starts not only the process with the county, but it allows us to go for donations, businesses, and start fundraising, grants, start to try to see what kind of financial, what we can build financially for this. A full competition track, 10,000 square feet or bigger, can run in upwards of $300,000. So that's why I kind of chuckled when I said affordable. They're not that affordable.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we approach former RPC there and say, hey, great for the community, what can you do for us in asphalt prices? I'm a contractor, I know a lot of guys with machines and shovels, we could do all. Another great thing about this company is they're fully willing to allow volunteer labor force. Machines, anything that can be volunteered to shave costs, they're open to it. So I feel as if we can cut into that amount pretty significantly, and the rest can be balanced with grants. So I think it's attainable.
What would it take, Paul, to do what you're asking? You're saying a design, what would that entail? What do you need?
The proposal that I put forth to the town is $7,500 for the design.
That's in the budget?
And I believe it's in the budget already.
Right.
It is. It's been appropriated, it just needs to be, it needs to engage American Ramp Company to move the design work forward.
We ready to do that tonight? Approve that design?
Well, it's budgeted.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's budgeted.
What do you think,
I didn't
Dave?
know it was budgeted, but
I mean, if it's in the budget
if it's
already,
in the
then
budget, then
Yeah.
I'm not sure do we have to approve it? It's already budgeted, but we can do it anyway. It's up to however y'all want to.
Yeah.
I mean, the funds are already sitting there, correct? I mean,
Yes,
it's not like we're moving money around.
no.
Okay, would you like to give the committee approval to proceed?
I'm fine with that, I'm good with that.
If the money, yeah, I mean, if the money's set aside for this project, for this beginning stage, and then we'll take it to the county, and then, I mean, if that's what, I think one of our biggest concern was, ruffling feathers with the garden, and stuff like that, and realizing that it is the county, that we're really going to have to work through, which we did on the connector trail. It'd be very similar. I would hope that we could operate the same as we did on that project. So,
Well, we be careful with the dog park people too now.
yeah, yeah, we got to be careful. But
All right, just throwing this out there for discussion for the public. What happens if we approve this tonight and Dare County says no?
That's a good point, but I feel we can't get to that point without the design to present. If you feel differently and we want to go to them and present it a different way, then I'm all for that. When I met Tim White at the site, he was over the moon. Oh, let's do it. Let's go sit down and make this thing happen. That was almost 2 years ago.
And I've talked to Bobby, and he was supportive.
I think it's a great idea. Y'all have worked hard, but I don't feel right approving it, and we don't know what Dare County is going to do yet.
is there any way that y'all could arrange that meeting that y'all had just talked about and just feel them out again, and then at the next meeting come back and just so that we don't go ahead and do it, and prematurely do it.
Could that happen, make that happen, and
course.
report back at the March meeting? That'd be
Certainly.
wonderful.
Happy to do
Okay.
that.
I'm good with,
And it's a great idea. Don't get me wrong.
I'm good with allowing the money to go there.
Yeah.
It's already budgeted anyway.
So do we give him the authority? Do you need a motion to give him the
Well, I
authority to
think-
do that?
I think maybe go back to the county before we transfer the funds, just to make sure. I mean, I think we're all supportive of it,
Yes.
right? So
I'm
maybe
not comfortable tonight approving it.
maybe just have that conversation with Bobby or whoever, and then come back like we talked
So that we're
about.
not actually wasting the we don't want to do that when we could use it to improve something else, in the town, so.
Put it in the terms of, hey, we have to spend $7,500 to get this thing designed. We don't want to do that if there's not a chance that you're open.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that puts a little different twist on it than just saying, hey, we got this great idea. Now we're spending money. So, yeah, that's.
You let me know when it's convenient for you to go and talk to them, and I'll set it up.
Thank you, Paul.
So one more thing.
Okay.
And this was something that was discussed last Tuesday night's meeting, so I wanted to bring it forth. We voted as a committee to bring it to town council, so I wanted to just, there again, another video here, so bear with me. This is 4 minutes, but this video just I think it does a great job in summing up, it prefaces what I'm trying to accomplish here.
2023 is Year of the Trail in North Carolina. It sounds like a neat slogan, but why is it Year of the Trail? Says who? Well, says the law. See, it says it right here in NC House Bill 554. 2023 is designated as Year of the Trail. On the surface, this seems unusual to say the least, but actually, this is long overdue. Outdoor recreation has an economic impact of over $28 billion in North Carolina, and it provides over 260,000 jobs. Yet the trail networks that make this all possible are rarely a part of mainstream public discussion. And it's not just about economics. Trails make North Carolina a healthier, more accessible, more fun place to live. You can walk across town on a greenway, climb a mountain on your bike, ride a horse through the forest, or paddle a kayak through the city. Trails are the gateway to so many forms of outdoor recreation. And whether you live in Boone, Raleigh, Charlotte, Wilmington, Lizard Lick, or one of the many towns that end in Ville, there are very likely trails in your community. Trails that lead to rivers, lakes, summits, and even breweries. North Carolinians and visitors alike use and explore these thousands of awesome trails for recreation and transportation. But very few stop to ask themselves, where do trails come from? Who pays for trails? What is trail maintenance anyway? And perhaps most importantly, how can we get more trails? If a tree falls in the forest with no ears to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, if it falls on a trail, it sure makes a mess. And it's often a volunteer that hikes miles into the forest with a big saw to clear it off the trail. And just like you may cut the grass in your yard, the trails themselves need to be cleared of encroaching vegetation. And those big rocks in the trail that look like they were placed there, they were, and it's a ton of work. We get out of our trails what we put into them. And in 2023, we're shining a spotlight on the communities and individuals who make North Carolina the great trail state. Right here on our social channels and website, you'll be the first to know about local Year of the Trail events, from the mountains to the Piedmont to the beach, along with the rivers and streams in between. Stay tuned for content about finding trails, having a good experience on them, how they're built, and how trails provide equal access to places and resources. We'll also explain how trails are paid for and how they pay us back. We'll feature individual North Carolinians, communities, and trail centers in every corner of the state. We'll do our very best to make it informative and, of course, entertaining. Trails make us healthier, they create memories, they connect us, and let's not forget, they're fun. And if fun and health aren't important to you, just remember that $28 billion and 260,000 jobs that these resources help bring to the Great Trails State. Follow us and help spread the word. Tag us in your next adventure out on the trail. Be part of the conversation. In 2023, we need your help in making trails a central part of our public discussions. It's healthy, it's fun, and most importantly, it's the law.
Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. That was a great video that Great Trails NC, which is who's putting a lot of this stuff on to promote trails. Great resource for all this stuff. So with that, I have an idea for a new trail. And I'm glad Mayor Perry is here, because Mayor Perry's original vision of the Birch Lane Trail was to interconnect it to the Sandy Run Trail. That was his original vision when he brought it to Rec Committee, and then we cultivated it, ultimately made the Birch Lane Trail happen. So you can see here, this is it might be hard to read the text, this is the quarter-mile marker of the Birch Lane Trail. The dark line is the existing 1.8 Birch Lane Trail right now. The orange line is a line, I use this app called Strava, and this is actually what I hiked. So I hiked basically connecting, which if you go straight right here to that little blip, this is where the previous old trailhead was for Birch Lane. It's still, the poster's still there, the signage is still there. So this would ultimately come through here to there and connect down through here and in. The neighbor here would never see the trail or anybody coming in and out of it, because I know that's already come up as far as a concern. So you come on here and you're on high ground. This entire, it's either a horse trail, a hiking trail, a hunter's trail, but there's a trail there. It needs some improvement. It doesn't need a lot of work to be a trail, to be honest. So walk this all the way back. There's a point here that would require an 8 to 10 foot walk bridgeway. And then at the entrance here, it would require probably 1 or 2 8 to 10 foot bridgeway walkways, which I'll show you a picture of those that we built over at the other reserve off Ridge Road. We built 3 of them already in concert with Eric, the manager of the state, for the state reserve. So what I would like to propose is this trail being the phase 2 of the Birch Lane Trail. The cost for this trail will be 0. There is right now currently 6 volunteers with the state, stewards for the state, that have been doing trail maintenance, building walkovers, keeping all the trails maintained and cut back currently. The gentleman who showed me this trail is a troop leader for the Boy Scouts. He's the one who knew all these trails. We walked all the way into the Birch Lane through a little bit of wet, but you could get through it without. And this right here, I walked out to Sandy Run. We were actually able to walk it. Now, bridgeways would need to be built here, and not of the same magnitude that come from the skate park or the town park to the Birch Lane Trail now, because this would greatly shorten the distance that they need to be built. Because you build a little 8 foot, 10 foot bridgeway here, and you're all the way to this point with no other bridges. So we're cutting the distance of all this off with expensive bridgeways like the ones we built. So I foresee this being the phase 2. While this goes in, we start working on grants and trying to move forward with the connection to Sandy Run Park at this point right here. So not only through the volunteers that we have currently now, and Eric, who's with the State Reserve, manager of the State Reserve, is here. I sent you another gentleman for volunteering. I don't know if he contacted you. So there may be 7 or 8. The gentleman that walked this trail said, you give me the notice and I'll have 20 Boy Scouts out there helping to build this thing. The volunteer force is there. Through donations, through me and others, we can come up with the materials and the manpower to build the bridgeways, 2 or 3 of them I see, to make this trail happen. We just need the approval to do it. And then once this is built, like I said, it not only gives us the connection, the future connection to the, we'll call it phase 3 bridgeways, but it now at this point gives us a trail that actually loops. And it will be almost a 4-mile trail that will loop. So you can come out of Sandy Run, come down here and loop this all the way around. So as far as recreational opportunities, bikes, horses, hikers, runners, now we have an actually loop trail that people can get out and do the whole trail rather than going down Birch and coming all the way up the same trail. As far as recreational opportunities, if you get into talking to people about that, they want loop trails. They want trails that loop. People don't like going on an out and back. It's just, they've been down the trail, they don't want to walk back on the same trail. Part of the experience is looping back around. And I can tell you from walking this section of woods, the Birch Lane Trail is beautiful, but that section of woods, I think, is by far, it's more beautiful. It's got more terrain, kind of rides a ridge lane there. You can see through the woods a little bit better. It's beautiful property, and it would make a fantastic loop trail and expand the current trail that we have. So that's all I have on. Actually, let me show you the bridgeway quick. So this is one of the bridgeways that we built out at the off Ridge Road, all the reserve property out there, all those trails. We built 3 bridgeways like this. The top is about 8 to 10 feet long. These are about 3 or 4 foot, the ramps. And there's currently 3 of those built out there right now. These are the type, we would only need probably 3 of these bridgeways built, and that trail is done. Along with cutting in the trail, cleaning the vegetation, and a rake, and the trail is in.
Excellent.
The year of the trail.
Yeah, it seems like this would be the optimum time to do that.
Yep.
Well, ultimately, this is going to boil down, I think, to you. I don't think this is a decision that, since, you know, we own the property, but you are the managing, so it would be, I think, something that I have an email from you today, and something that we would have to see if that's something that the state would consider. Now, I know we have talked about the connector that Mayor Perry had talked about as phase 2, you know, but this is kind of a different, you know, a lot of land that I wonder if you want people through or not. That's something I would like to sit down and talk with you about, and your feelings on how the state would like to move forward with this project, since you are the say-so on whether we can do this or not.
And you need some time on this, I'm sure, don't you, Eric?
Yes, this is the first I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not good.
No, but if, you know, if that's something that we could all sit down and just to see if that's something that, you know, y'all are 100% against, or you're open to it, let's talk about it and move forward from there. You know, if that's something that I've walked, that was the trail that we used as kids hunting here. That is the first trail that, and that's where you know, it is like it is. And I did go in exactly the way you did, Paul, right at Sandy Run, right at by the chin-up bar. I cut right through when we were originally doing this project, when Mayor Perry asked me to go in there and see what I thought. That's where I didn't go over from Birch. I actually went down this one. That's why I asked you. See, obviously, I thought you were on that trail that he's talking about. That's why I asked you, you walked the whole thing. I said, in tennis shoes? Because when I walked it, there was like 3 low areas that you would need exactly what you were saying. I saw 3 little places, 10 feet maybe, a hammock to a hammock, you know, idea. But that's something that, you know, we could sit down and.
I'll be honest, that discussion should have been had before it came before us tonight.
Well, we talked about it. It was proposed during the rec committee on Tuesday night, and it was voted by the committee to bring it to town council tonight.
Yeah, but he should have been involved also.
Yeah, I already talked to Eric. I apologize for not inviting him to this meeting tonight, but I wanted to basically piggyback it off the pump track.
Maybe
The
get
pump track
some,
was the reason I was presenting me.
maybe get some info and come back at the March meeting with both what you've gone to. I'd like to ask, do the Boy Scouts get credit here towards their Eagle Scout?
Yes, they could.
Good, great, that'd be wonderful.
And I'm an assistant scoutmaster, I can't really talk for the troop, the boys have to vote on it. But as you probably talked to Gray, he probably said that as the boys go up in leadership, they can have a project where a couple of them could help you build one of those crossovers, or help you clean sections of the track. And the only requirement is it has to be approved by the council, and then they normally put up a little plaque that says that the troop, you know, helped put the trail together and did projects on it. And we were down to Bentonville about 2 years ago, and if you go down there at one of the secondary battlefields at Bentonville, it was an Eagle project where they went through and put the trail through, you know, and put like benches where people could stop and sit down and rest if they needed to, or do those crossovers. So they could get credit for that.
Good.
And that's what he's here for tonight, is to get credit for
Good. Thank you.
citizenship in the community.
Good, thank you for coming, young man. Glad to have you, thank you. Paul, why don't you do that, get some information and come back with both projects or proposals at the March meeting. Very good.
And I had asked Charlotte to ask Casey about the agreement between the town and the state. I understand the property is owned by the town, but it's managed by the state. And she confirmed, so that was part of it. I was trying to get that agreement, that arrangement between the two.
Right.
The Birch Lane Trail got built. This is another trail that I feel is viable and I'd like to get built. I knew Eric was going to be brought into it. I wanted to propose it and then bring him in.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean,
Yep,
it's going to
that's
be
good.
brought
Very
into it
good.
at some point.
You
That sounds
guys are
great.
working,
Yeah.
committee's working extremely hard, and we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I
much.
will say that I walked that trail I called you while I was on it, actually, Jeff. Walked it twice this weekend, and I don't disagree that going back the same way you go in is not as much
That's right.
fun.
I agree.
And the amount of people that I run into on that trail and I talk to every one of them, a lot of runners lately, a lot of bicyclists, but certainly a lot of runners with dogs, and ask them the same question, and they're, just wish this thing looped, or wish it had a loop in it, wish it was a little longer, and the same input I'm getting is what I'm trying to accomplish.
Mr. Perry, do you have any comments, sir?
I just want to add historical context to why this Red Line Trail is probably there as opposed to the Birch Line, as was the case in all of the ridges throughout Kitty Hawk. And they would be cart paths back before we had roads and interconnections and things of that nature. So the natural path that Jeff is talking about actually going toward to hunt and things of that nature would be a wider path, already existing, and just grown over. But that's probably what you're looking at, as opposed to what Birch was.
Yeah.
And the same thing was over at Hickory, and all of those paths are the same way. So just keep that in mind for your historical perspective. It's not new. Not like cutting the trees with you. You just don't want to do it anymore.
Good. Thank you, sir, very much. I appreciate your input. All right, Paul, you good?
I'm good, and that's,
I'll be back in March with some comments on it. Okay.
Very good. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And kudos on cleaning the path on the Birch Lane Trail.
For sure.
Thank you. Okay, public comment. Lynn, do we have anyone sign up for public comment?
No, sir.
Is there anyone here tonight would like to speak at public comment about any topic? No one? Okay, Lynn, let the record show no one chose to speak. Council, I need a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Thanks, David. Second.
Second.
Thanks, Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We had no items removed. Item 9A. Council, if you remember, we had a resolution that was brought over from the January meeting. Council had some questions, and I think you've got them cleared up. Resolution authorizing discussions with Dare County concerning joint emergency services. This is pertaining to the two lots the town owns, Lot 211 and Lot 212, Section C, 4911, 4907 Putter Lane here in Kitty Hawk. Resolution to go into discussions with Dare County regarding the exchange of possibly two lots for a fire bay for a fire truck. Are there any discussions about the comments about the resolution we have before us tonight, Council? If not, could I entertain a motion to approve?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution of authorizing discussion with Dare County concerning joint emergency services.
Thank you, Jeff. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Charlotte. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Okay, reports from our time manager, Miss Melody.
Good evening. I want to say I so appreciate the Recreation Committee. They're totally a volunteer committee, and they are doing great work and have great ideas, and it's just really nice to see that level of engagement. And I'm going to come to your next meeting, I think, so I want to be part of it. Also, I want to invite everybody tomorrow for our Imagine Kitty Hawk, which is our land use plan public meeting, where Stewart, the company that's handling this for us, is going to be here and presenting the survey results. I'm told that we had over 300 people complete the survey. The meeting's going to be here at Town Hall, and it will be tomorrow between 5 and 7 p.m., and I'm encouraging everybody to come out. We would love to have as many people as possible. And that's all.
Thank you, Melody. And again, what is the cutoff for the police chief applications and also your previous position?
The way that we worded it for both positions was first review of applications. For my position was January 30th. So we're going to be looking at them this week into next week. Police chief is February 15th.
Okay. And a lot of applications again for that.
I say we're probably up to 55 for the police chief.
Good. That's a good problem to have. Good problem. Good. Thank you, Melody, very much. You're doing a great job. Again, Casey Varnell, our attorney, is out sick tonight. David, let's start on that end, please. You got anything?
I want to thank Joel, and both them guys retiring is a big blow to Kitty Hawk. Although there's other people standing ready to fill in the void, that's a lot of experience that is not going to be here any longer. And I want to congratulate them for that. And that's all I have for this evening.
Good. Quick update on the police station debris removal.
Probably will be continuing on until next week.
Okay.
And then the concrete has to next be pulled up and removed, so.
Okay, very good. Very good. It's coming right along. That's good. I'm like David. I'd like to congratulate Joel and Brent again. A lot of years of service. I've known both of them, I'm sure my age now, for a long time, but that's a good thing. So congratulations again to both of them. Thanks to the staff and the town employees that are working hard through some rainy days, some cold days, and just continue to get the job done, and we appreciate it. That's all I've got. Jeff?
Yeah, I'd like to, we do this from time to time, but I'd like to thank Donnie King and Better Beaches OBX. They do a fantastic job of volunteers that put beach grass. They go behind the Beach Nourishment Project and find hot spots along our beach that can need some extra attention, and they volunteer and they move large volumes of Christmas trees and all sorts of stuff to help protect our beaches. And I just wanted to thank Donnie and all of his volunteers. They do an awful lot of hard work. Also, on our consent agenda, one of the things we had was the fire road that we have been talking about. I think Willie said when he came to work here. This is also goes along with Eric in a fire prevention break line in the reserve, a tract of land. And it also serves two purposes where right now we cannot get our fire trucks to a couple of dwellings because of a bridge that won't support our truck. And this will allow our emergency equipment to get to these people's house and also protect our woods if we were to have a forest fire. And I'd like to thank Willie and Eric and everybody for working on that. It's been a long time coming. Thank you, Willie. That's all I have to say.
Willie, you say you started those discussions 16 years ago, right? And we're finally getting somewhere, right? That's very good, very good. Charlotte?
Well, I'd like to welcome Ryan and Noah that were installed and inducted as police officers this last week, and I think they'll be good additions to our town. I'd also like to praise the Recreation Committee for all their hard work and everything they're doing. It's just a great committee, and it's just gelled. It's just really good. Thank you so much for that. Anything else, Charlotte? I'm good.
Okay, council, anything else? Again, this is a big turnout. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. It means a lot, rather than us sitting here talking to ourselves. It means a lot. Have someone to look at and talk to. So thank you. Okay. Council, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank
Look at
you.
that one.